I think that we had some kind of lesson in transparency today. Honest, emotional honesty. There we go. But you know, I got another piece of the Chintamani today, and it's not technically a piece of the Chintamani. It's the case for the Chintamani, and it reminds me of OA, Ten of fucking Pentacles, because in season 2, when she went to a new dimension, right? She essentially, after doing their method of transport, woke up in the body of another version of herself. But she had totally suppressed that version's consciousness. That version of her grew up a totally different life. Had a different skill set, different values, different hobbies. Nothing was the same. One choice changed everything, and her life took an entirely different path. But when she finally figured out how to reintegrate her other self, the imagery they used was a glass box. She had the other version of herself trapped in a glass box, and she wasn't interested in looking inside of it. She didn't care that she was suppressing a piece of herself, because she rooted her identity in this piece of herself. And it wasn't until she could truly understand that she was both that she attained reintegration. So this test here has me confronting my energies of dark and light, because I own it. I embrace my dark side. I don't allow it to control me, but I do understand it, and I do love it, and I do need it. But that is not the same thing as the negative energy that's been following me around. They are different. And when you have to confront the very concept of your beliefs, it can be so challenging. Because after that conversation, I had to really look at myself and my feelings and my biases based on my perspective, my context. Because what I said earlier wasn't just about the readers on here having their context. It was about me having my context too. And I had to look at what parts of myself I didn't want to see. I had to shine a light on the parts that I wasn't willing to look at. And I think I came to the conclusion that this Nine of Wands energy that has been following me around body to body, person to person, it's still part of my spirit team. That is still part of the lesson here. Because you can't just be rid of that piece of yourself. This cleansing, it might release a blockage that allows you to facilitate that growth, that healing that's necessary to overcome the cycle. But the energies are transmuted. They're not destroyed. They're not cast off. They are reintegrated in different form, translated into something that works for you. So this piece of the Chintamani was a glass box. And this was actually the backup plan. I ended up securing it with a little bit of wire down here, but there's a mirror on the bottom with this little leaf pattern, like frosted glass almost, and then it's visible from every side. And I still have to seal it, but that part, that glass box, allows me to have all the Chintamani, or all the regalia up at the same time. That is all four. Oh wow, you can kind of see it gleaming from here. That's interesting. Like when you catch the right angle. I'm not even sure I can do it again. There you go. How interesting. But this glass box is about transparency, visibility, seeing things that you have trouble with, confronting those darkest aspects. And it almost, in that way, reminds me, oh, there's a third part to the Chintamani. The third part is actually a necklace that's going to go on the wall around it. Maybe hanging right below it or hanging on those nails so that it's like right below. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna play with it, figure it out. But the necklace is actually from Inuyasha because this Chintamani gem reminded me of the Jewel of Four Souls, the Shikan no Tami. And originally I wanted Kikyo's necklace, the one that was like, it was like triangular shaped and made of bones. There was like a million beads made of bone around the Shikan jewel. But the story of the Shikan jewel is that inside is trapped the soul of a priestess battling with the soul of a demon. And that's why whenever you have somebody touch the jewel, it can either be purified or corrupted based on your soul. You shift the balance with your energy by having it in your possession. So by having somebody who is pure, the jewel is purified. By having somebody who is corrupt, the jewel is corrupted. And by having somebody in balance, it remains in balance. This was purposeful on Spirit's part. This whole situation, the tower, the lesson, the arrival of the box, the ability to now put it on the wall. Everything is in its home. And I'm sure that the test of gratitude was relevant still. Maybe there was more than one factor. Because there was more than one piece, there might be a test coming for the necklace too, who knows? Or maybe even the sheath, which is supposed to arrive early January, late December. But the Phoenix sheath, the Firebird, which is what I'm naming the sword. The sword is going to be the Firebird. But I took a closer look at the picture of the sheath, and it actually has very similar imagery with the plum blossom or cherry blossom, whatever it is that you see on the Tsuba, and right here in the tip. You see it in all three places, but then this is going to end up being the Phoenix sheath, which is going to have white engraving of Phoenix fire, and then a little flower, just like the rest of the sword, right up there. So I thought that was very cool that I found the perfect sheath that just ties in with everything, and fingers crossed it fits. But it's absolutely fascinating, this entire process. And I'm never going to, again, lock myself in a box. No part of me will be suppressed. And if I go to the psychic and I have this cleansing done, there must be a bigger reason here. Because there must be some part of this that I'm meant to realize or learn, or a connection to be made here. There has to be something. 10 of fucking Pentacles again. And I just don't see all the pieces yet. But pieces are still arriving all the time. And it's not going to stop. Not yet. We're not done. We're not done yet. The next step is going to be priming those keys, getting them iridescent, and then I still have to seal the jewel. I still have to get the necklace and find a way to incorporate that here, and then I'm going to seal the jewel. And then it'll be done. And then we'll just be waiting on the sheath. Oh, and I got the last cousin, the last niece or nephew. The box came today. It actually matches the one that I found in my mom's antique shop pretty well. But it's a cute little box. So that's That's all of them, and then we got the keys up here ready